I am extremely proud of you.
Why? Because I got ready in 15
You
minutes?
got ready so fast, and you look beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
I like your little burlap sack that you're wearing there.
Oh, my burlap sack. I was about to say, I feel a little J-Lo-ish with my huge hoops and my big old high bun until you said I was wearing a burlap sack.
It's nice, though. It's very fall. Is that what we're going for? Very fall.
That's what I'm going for. I want it to be cold. I want to wear sweaters and like knee-high boots, but we just don't have that kind of weather here yet.
Nope, we don't have it yet. I'm still in tank tops. My legs are still looking amazing.
Although you will still be in a tank top in 40-degree weather.
I will.
And I will have on like a turtleneck sweater and a cute little jacket on
Yeah,
top.
but you're just all about fashion.
Yeah, the fun fall clothes that we get to wear. Like
you're all about.
1 month.
That's why I was laughing because I've learned so much. Living with you and having a Captain Evil in my life. Our Rebecca showed up the other day with her little jacket on, and I'm like, "You're ridiculous. It's hot." It's like she heard cold front and couldn't wait to wear. I go, "I know you just couldn't wait to wear that jacket."
No,
and she
it's
was
just
like, "I still look cute."
She's so skinny. She doesn't have all the body fat you and I do to keep us warm.
You don't be throwing that shit on me. Look at that. You look delicious. Look at those legs. Look at nice try. I'm excited.
Yeah.
A lot to talk about. I mean, it was a fucking crazy. I'm so excited to be home. Last month, I existed. I didn't live.
Oh.
It was hard. It was one of the busiest months I've had. And
life was living you last month. That's
man,
what
it was. It was hard, and my immune system went down. And last podcast I was talking about not feeling well. Well, boy, oh boy, did it come on. I was miserable flying. And what was crazy is I had to fly to San Francisco, crazy and cool all at the same time, because I did the Fillmore. And the Fillmore, for those of you that don't know, is one of the most famous venues out there. I mean, just one of those, a million comedy specials have been filmed there.
That's right. Live from the Fillmore.
Yep.
Like, I feel like you hear that phrase, even on like records, albums. Right?
I mean, that is the famous place. So it was really cool to perform there. And then to bookend it with the famous town hall in New York City.
Oh, you were supposed to get me a picture in front of the marquee with your name.
Well, it didn't have my name. It was weird. It was just kind of like it was an old school theater, so it was still very old school. I think I might have had I have a couple of pictures for you, but Albany, New York was also amazingly cool. It was called the Egg, and I still need to figure out why Albany has so much egg stuff. I think I might need Rick to look it up.
Rick, Google it. We should know this.
And I meant
Albany
to do
has a bunch of egg stuff?
I literally didn't have time to figure out. I mean, usually I'm like, so I get to the hotel, which is literally right by across the street from the Egg. And the Egg is this crazy building that like sits on this pedestal. Like, it's really weird.
Does it look like an egg?
Kinda.
Yeah.
It's like built like a giant egg. But then the hotel, their artwork was all like eggs. So I'm like, it's a thing. It's not like they named the egg, and then, I don't know, maybe they named the egg.
And then Albany just took ownership
and then
of
everything
the egg.
around it was like, well, you're probably going to the Egg if you're staying here. We'll get in on the egg theme. I don't know.
I like a good theme, baby.
Wasn't sold out, but my first time to do a theater in Albany, and it was a Thursday.
Yeah.
Super successful, super fun, amazing night. That night, we decided to not stay in Albany, and we made the 3-hour drive to Foxwoods Casino.
Because it's a casino.
Dude, well, I was still sick, but that casino is insane.
Why?
It is like
what is it about this casino?
Because it's like the Mall of America of casinos. It is connected to a Tagger outlet.
Oh, that's cool. Why didn't you bring me?
That's why, because it was connected to a Taggart outlet.
But it's like the perfect compromise for you and I, a casino with a mall attached.
I know you love
that.
It's
like Caesars.
No, dude, it was
shops attached to the casino.
It was crazy, like huge casino.
Yeah.
It was one of those casinos that it felt like Caesars, a smaller version of Caesars in the Forum shops. Where you're like, where am I? What part of the casino
am I in?
Am I in right now? Right. But fortunately for me, by the time we got to Friday, so I slept. Like I just slept.
Yeah. I didn't hear from you this weekend. You were either on a plane and I couldn't talk to you, or you were trying to catch up and like sleep.
I was just sleeping and taking my Z-Pack. I already had 2 IVs prior to it. And I was just like, I could tell that every day, every hour at some point, I was getting better.
Yeah. Just from sleeping through it?
Well, and the Z-Pack was kicking in,
yeah.
You know, and I would wake up from my 3-hour nap or whatever, and I'd be like, oh, man, I feel a little better. I'd pee, I'd drink.
I don't think we need to know about your urinating. Well, no, but that's why
that's why I would wake up to pee. I wasn't waking up to do anything else. I'd wake up to pee, and then I'd rehydrate. I was drinking a bunch of Gatorade. I'd go back to sleep. I'd wake up, feel a little better. Mm-hmm. You know, Mike Young was laughing because he would like text me or whatever, and I would go 65%, 70%. I mean, I literally was going up as the hours were going by, like 1 or 2%. And by the time we got to showtime for Foxwoods, I was already feeling about 90%.
Yeah,
much better. Candy Edwards from GP showed up.
Yeah.
And I got to hang out with her and her friends and had laughs backstage. And I just always find it so interesting. Let me know when you find out about the egg.
Yeah, it basically was saying that they called it the meeting center and the public just kept calling it the egg. And Rockefeller hated that. So every time he'd be on the news or anything, he would say the meeting center. And the Republic rejected it and kept just calling it the egg.
That's crazy. Interesting.
Huh.
I wonder what dickhead was like, I'm calling it the egg and everybody else is too. But I always find it so interesting how my friends react to me backstage.
What do you mean? How so?
And I think it's a personality trait, right?
Of theirs or of yours?
Of people.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember, Travis, you got Jamie. They're at my show in Lake Charles, and Travis had the same energy. Are you okay? Should we be back here? Do you need time? We're bothering him. We're in the way. There's certain people that have this anxious feeling
for you,
for me, and they're like worried for. And Candy Edwards, I hate that I don't know her maiden name, but I mean her married name. But Candy was like, Steve, should we go? Are you okay? And we can get out of here. We'll get out of here. And I'm like, relax. Like, what do you want me to sit here by myself? Like, and everybody, for whatever reason, freaks out that I am mid-conversation.
Because it's pretty freaky.
I
completely understand why everybody freaks out. It is still, I know you, and I know that's what's going to go down, but I see people responding that way, and I completely understand why they respond that way. And I reassure them you are really okay with it. It is not normal to go out there and do what you do without some sort of pause or deep breath or little pep talk. No,
even Miss Lori's like, that's weird.
It's not normal. Like even a theater production, before people go on to do a Broadway play, there's like a group huddle, right? Like you come together, you like center and focus. Let's go.
But I would say that that's different.
How is that different?
Because I have seen Broadway plays.
Uh-huh.
You have to be perfect. You have to be in the right spot. You have to hit your line so that the other people around you know what's going on. There is set changes. Everything has to be fucking perfect.
But even professional,
I don't have to be perfect.
Professional sports players are not perfect by any means, and they're not mid-conversation and go out to the game. There's a moment with the coach. There's like a pep talk, a centering.
I mean, even the other, a few weeks ago, we were talking about Nelly, where his road manager was like, I would take you to meet him right now, but he likes to have his time before he goes on stage. I don't need that time.
I know, it's weird. It's really weird and bizarre.
Yeah,
I think it is normal to need just a little bit of prep.
No, not for me. It's and she was so concerned. And Steve, are you okay? And oh my gosh. And should we leave? And then other people are like her husband is like, Candy, stop. Like just chill. Like just fucking chill, right? But I had a wonderful time hanging out with her and just laughing. I mean, I'm so lucky that I get to see GP people and people that I grew up with.
Out on the road.
You know, not on the road, just, you know, periodically.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's so many people that move on with life, and it's very rare that you run into friends you had in high school.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're an adult, and if you don't live in the same town or you're no longer friends or whatever,
yeah,
it's very rare that you see each. I get to see people and reconnect
IRL in real life, not
real
just on
life.
Facebook.
You know, and so it was great to see her. And then, you know, we hung out at Foxwoods, killed it on the craps table. I didn't even tell you, killed it. Killed it on the craps table.
It's funny how you started feeling better the night you were at Foxwoods. It's that casino running through your veins.
The only thing that sucked is that I was not able to have drinks because I was sick, and I didn't want to get more sick.
Yeah.
I was afraid that if I drank that I would.
Antibiotics aren't as
Yeah,
effective.
and I was like, nah, it's just not worth. You know, I want to feel better.
Yeah.
So I didn't even stay out that late. I played. Candy and her husband John. They were like, hey, we're going to bed. I was like, great, me too. Good time to grab my chips and call it a night.
Yeah.
Woke up the next day. Oh, and then like lost my sunglasses. So I had to buy more sunglasses.
Good thing you won money on the craps table.
Yes. So I had to buy more sunglasses. Then we pulled in. Then we were freaking out because remember Friday, New York's underwater.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So I've got agents, managers, everybody calling me going, hey, we'll let you know what's going on. And the Friday night show got canceled.
Oh, did it really?
The Friday night show at the
whoever
town
they had
hall canceled. So they're like, we'll let you know, blah, 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 you know.
Yeah.
And then I called Dan Sirkin, my lawyer, and our good friend who was at our wedding. And we'll talk about Daniela too.
Yeah.
He was like, what are you talking about? Fuck yeah, of course you're doing a show. He's like, it's New York.
Yeah.
Bro. He's like, we fucking, in that city.
I knew it. When you were like, Renae, I don't know if it's going to cancel. I was like, look, last time you were there was this crazy blizzard snowstorm. The city seemed like it was shut down pretty much the day before. And I said, nope, New Yorkers are so resilient. If they have bought a ticket to that show already.
Everybody showed up.
And it's happening, they're going to be there.
Everybody showed up.
And so I was like, do not, because you're like, maybe the airport shut down. Maybe I should buy a plane ticket out of someplace else just to be safe. I was like, you're not going to need that plane ticket. Go for it, but you're not going to need it.
And sure enough, man, like we got there and the city was, well, it was cool to go back to the city because the last time we were there, it was snowstorm and a resurgent of COVID.
Omicron. It was the Omicron variant.
So it was a much different city.
Yeah.
At one point, Renae and I are staying at the Marriott that overlooks Times Square. It was 11 a.m. I'll never forget it, and I'll probably never see it again. I remember looking out the window, and I told Renae, I go, there are 6 people in Times Square.
Yeah.
6.
Like little ants down there.
And I'd have to look for them. I'd be like, there's one over there. There's one over there. There's 2 there. Like it was a fucking ghost town.
Yeah.
And me and you walked around the town. At that time, you're having to show your vaccine.
Your vaccination card.
Your vaccination card, right? So it was really cool to come back, and the energy of the city was back.
Yeah.
And it made me miss you so much.
Oh,
because
that's
I know
the way you love Vegas. I just love New York.
But I didn't have that feeling last time. The energy,
because it wasn't the same New York.
So it kind of made me forget.
Yeah.
So this time made me go, oh yeah, like the excitement.
Well, and you know what it is?
Energy.
There's same with like the snowstorm or the flood. It's like there is a resiliency about New Yorkers like nobody else. And you and I have talked about this. Like when you go, it is ingrained in them. When you go to that 9/11 museum, to think that this city and that area rebuilt itself the way it did, it is just like I can't explain it. New Yorkers are resilient like no other. They just brush it right off.
Just keep going.
And they keep going.
I mean, it was pretty magical, and I missed you tremendously in the city. Obviously, it didn't work out because, and by the way, again, there is a God, and it turned out to be a blessing because you would have not been able to get in anyway, and that would have been even more heartbreaking.
Yeah.
To have planned for you to come and then not even be able to come, right? But the energy was back. the city. You could feel the city again.
Yeah.
And people are walking, and Times Square's on fire, and everybody's taking their pictures, and the restaurants are open. I mean, just the whole. And I go, man, like I do like this city. I like to visit. Like it was fun, and the energy. I was completely wiped and exhausted. I didn't.
Well, because normally you would have like done your show and then maybe tried to go get some late night spots somewhere else.
Well, let me tell you what happened. So Canelo was fighting that night, and Mike Young, the opening act, is a huge boxing fan like I am, and he was like, "Dude, we can do our show because our show was at 7, and we can still go make the fight, right?" He's like, "But I got to use your celebrity." So he calls this, like everybody was like, we're booked up for the fight. And Mike Young's like, I have Steve Trevino. He's playing at Town Hall. Can you reserve him a table, please? So of course they go, okay, but till this time, right? So, and let me digress. So very good friend of mine who is practically a cousin, Donnie Sosa. One of his best friends is a guy named Joe Sanchez. And Joe Sanchez, who you will absolutely love, he is a professor at Queens College, and he is in charge almost for like, he's like I'm going to screw this up, but he's like a liaison for the country and for presidents for Latino culture in books. So I'm very proud of this guy. He's actually he's the first Mexican American to put together like
curating Latino writers and stuff like that?
A curator.
For libraries?
He's going to curate at the Library of Congress a section for Latino authors and Latino stories.
Very cool.
So he's a very intelligent guy. I really love chatting with him. I called Daniela. So last time Dan came, and Daniela was like, I'm going this time, right? So I call her up. She's like, yeah, I'm here with the kids. I go, Danielle, the show starts at 7. I gotta go.
That sounds like Danielle. Danielle was my college roommate from NYU.
So
that sounds like Daniela.
She ended up flying over there. Then the funny part is, and there are moments that I feel so appreciative of you. Mike is a single guy.
Yeah.
Mike is older than me. Mike tried, I'm airing out all his laundry here, tried to make it work with a woman who had kids. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. And on our drive, he just kept saying, man, you're so lucky to have what you have. And, I'm looking for that. And I see you talk about your kids. And, he's like, man, I just really want that. He's like, but, in the meantime, I'm just going to crush, so he has these 2 girls from New York that are models.
He has 2 girls?
Well, they hang out together, these models.
Oh, okay.
They're both giants, and they probably weigh 130 pounds, 20 pounds, right?
Less, probably.
Probably less.
Models,
They're tall and very pretty girls. They show up, and then so you got me over here. You got Joe Sanchez and his librarian girlfriend. Of course, she ended up with a librarian girlfriend, right? Ooh, you like books too? You're the curator, woo, right? So you have our conversation. I'm totally into Joe. I mean, I'm learning what he's doing, and he's on sabbatical, but he's working.
It's like legit an episode of Beauty and the Geek. You got the book nerds over here and the models over here.
But I mean, Joe, his work. He's just blowing my mind. He travels around the world, talking about how important education is and reading. Yeah. He had just gotten back from Kenya, so he had gone several years prior. I should get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
He's an amazing guy. So he had gone to Kenya several years prior.
Okay.
And they delivered thousands of books. Unfortunately, because in Kenya, all the schools are open air.
Yeah.
The bugs destroyed the books.
Well, so many things destroyed.
Moisture, open air. And then termites. And so they get a phone call saying, hey, thank you for the books, but they are no longer usable.
Yeah.
So he gets together with these other guys that have to figure out how to solve that problem. They go back to Kenya. They take the sea can that we have full of bullshit. Okay, those canisters,
shipping containers.
They put solar panels on them so that they can keep them dry, climate controlled, and they turn those into little libraries for these kids.
Yeah.
So he had just gotten back from doing
how cool
like 80 libraries, these
80 shipping containers.
And I'm talking to this guy. He's blowing my mind. I'm so interested in what he does and how he does it, and I just think it's such a beautiful thing that he's doing. And then, like you said, over here you have the models, and all you hear over there is, oh my God, I'm not gonna eat a cannoli. I'm a girl. I'm gonna eat it anyway. I'm crazy. Let's just the cannoli's so good, right? That's all you hear.
Cannolis are my favorite. That's all I can think of. Cannolis are my favorite.
But I just remember thinking to myself, like, God, I love my wife. like, God, I don't have to fucking listen to that bullshit. I don't pretend.
She eats cannolis and she reads.
I don't have to pretend to fucking like her. And poor Mike's over there doing this with them, like, yeah. And the girls are like, they're in their like freaking, mid to late 20s, maybe early 30s max, and oh my God, we're backstage and this is so cool. And can we have some more drinks? And we want wine. Do they have wine? I mean, just cackling over there. And I just sitting there talking to Joe, thinking to myself, God, I'm so lucky. Like, God, I don't have to deal with that bullshit. Like, and they're nice girls. I don't want you to think they were very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, very pretty, very nice. I don't want to be mean to them, but it was not.
You enjoyed looking at them, just not
my type. They don't have a big shitter like you. I like big shitters.
Okay, here you were being so sweet and complimentary, and then
I have to tell the truth.
South. Just go south.
I like them thick, bro.
Now you just like open it up for the comment section.
Here it
if
comes.
You say it.
But I was tired. I truly enjoyed. Oh, then Daniela shows up, and that little girl's a spark plug, man.
Yeah,
right?
she is. She's Spitfire.
She shows up, but it was cool because she immediately joined in the conversation, and I mean, Joe, the most interesting guy in the room. And then it was really cool because he is an art type and reads and talks about stories. So that was our next conversation was talking to him about what we're trying to accomplish with this set, how we want it to be delivered and what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And then he was like talking about, how important it is to tell the story in a certain way and blah, blah, blah. And story structure. So then afterwards, and of course I wanted Daniela's
performance opinion.
Yeah. So she said she was going to call you anyway, but afterwards we sat again and again, Joe's, giving me notes and talking about what stories were important. And, his thing was slow down. His note to me was those moments that have heart.
Yeah.
Live in them.
Yep.
And Daniela was like, yeah. Like
I was going to say that's a theater performance note too.
She's like, slow down and live in that moment.
Yeah.
Right. It was funny because, being in New York and being around people, and I'm probably going to start a shitstorm here on the podcast, but being around people who are more woke, if you will, more word aware, right? One of Daniela's notes was to not sound homophobic when I talk about the baseball player.
Yeah.
Right. And I told her,
which we've talked about navigating that from the beginning since you started doing that.
Yeah. And I told her,
I
go two things. I go, number one, we address it and we make sure that we make it very clear, how we feel. However, I'm a fucking comedian. Can it just be funny? It's okay sometimes to just be funny. It's okay sometimes to ride the line and just be funny and hopefully people understand I'm a fucking comedian.
I think that's going to be one. I think that's one where you have to prep yourself. It's like you said, there's in this like woke or cancel culture, whatever you want to talk about it, however you want to describe it, there are certain topics that are just
triggers.
That are just going to be triggers. And I think there are going to be people who hear or see that joke and that's where they're going to go to immediately.
And it doesn't matter what I say.
Yeah.
You know,
it wouldn't matter how you handled it.
Right. But it goes back to, you know, Dave Chappelle, right? You know, the you know, people calling him transphobic or whatever. And it was like, wait a minute. I hear a man talking about this transphobic or this trans person who he was very kind to. Yeah. Who he was nice to. That's what I heard.
Who was his friend.
Who was his friend.
Right. Who he treated like
anybody else
would any other friend.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the negativity, but it turned into negative, right?
Right.
And at the end of the day, we are comedians. We are funny. We are meant to be funny. We're trying to get a laugh. We're trying to get a feeling out of you. We're trying to get you to giggle and to laugh and by the way, does anybody have any fucking clue how hard it is to make somebody laugh out loud? It's hard. Yeah. To make somebody sit there and laugh out loud. Yeah. Think about that for a moment.
In a crafted, written way, to do it over and over and over again. It's not just like, oh, something funny happened
for an hour.
Moment. Yeah. For an hour.
You can't take away words.
Hour. Yeah.
You can't take away words. You can't take away moments. You can't. It's
topics
hard.
Or subtext.
It's fucking hard. Yeah. So that was one of her notes, and I told her, I said, look, I get it. I hear you. I address it. I can defend myself, and the people that love me love me. You know? But even when we put out bits on TikTok or Instagram, you know, these heated debates that these people get into over a joke is just amazing to me. Yeah. Like it really blows my mind when I see these like heated debate. I mean, when I did the Chevy thing versus the Ford. Yeah. I mean, people telling me, go fuck yourself and fuck you. And it's like, wow, dude. Like I'm a comedian giving people that like Fords a hard time.
The other thing is too, is like in the world of social media, you and I you're thinking of your special as a whole and how it fits together. We've talked a couple episodes about the order of things, but then the fact that it will be clipped out, that it will be pulled apart into little bits and people will comment on that. And so we talk about jokes that are hot button topics and what happens when that joke is removed from your set and it's just that joke or just a piece of that.
They don't see what led up to it. They don't see what tagged it. They don't see how it rounds about. Right?
Yeah, that's what's tricky.
They don't see, you know, and one of the most famous bits that we did was the lower your expectations. You know, hey ladies, lower your expectations, you know.
You're not a princess. Your daddy lied to you.
Yeah, you remember very
I do remember, although you told Delilah she's a princess all the time. So
and I'm lying to her. And I am lying to her. And as long as she stays in my little kingdom, she will be a princess. Problem is that she will one day be out of this kingdom. And when you leave the kingdom, you are no longer a princess. You are somebody's wife. You are somebody's mother. You are no longer a princess. So, but it was funny because at the end of it, you know, and I think that's what my stand-up does. I always go laugh, 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 laugh. Here's something sweet and real. Yeah. Right? And at the end of that bit, when I go, if you truly want to be happy. Yeah. Right? Find a hardworking man. A man that wakes up every day and puts you first. Right? A man that you know, takes care of his kids. You know. Yeah. So that moment is not in there. Yeah. You know, and what people don't understand is when I say lower your expectations, I am saying lower your physical expectations. Lower your expectations when it comes to money and to a physical appearance. Yeah. Right? Because that physical appearance and money does not bring you happiness. Right? So you don't get to see that. Yeah. Right? So you just see the one bit that's super funny. Yeah. Gets tons of laughs, but you don't see the heart.
And that's the hard part is like, I think we do have to think about that. I think we do have to keep that in mind because the reality of the situation is most people see your clips. And even if they come and support you at a live show, they've not seen the whole special in its entirety in the order that it was written.
Meant to be.
Yeah.
Right.
They're just seeing it in clips.
I mean, but even like the truck bit, right? You know, when I say my fat sister, or my dad calls me a titty baby. Like, if you just saw my dad going, "Get out of bed, titty baby. Your mom's tits not here for you to suck," and you just saw that, you'd be like, "What the fuck is wrong with his dad?"
Yeah.
His dad's a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
But you don't see later on in the set when he's giving me sound advice.
Yeah.
Right. So it was a really good weekend. Overall, it was hell physically, but I'm not kidding you, Renae. Like, I walked on that stage
At Town Hall?
at Town Hall, and the crowd, the way that they cheered when I walked out, immediately woke me up.
Yeah.
I was a different person. Like, I'm not kidding you. I mean, I'm dragging ass. I'm tired. I have been sick. I have not slept. I've literally flown and driven all over the country. And I walk on that stage and boom. I mean, it was like fucking fire. And I was like, all right,
Oh,
here
I
we
wish I
go.
was there.
Right?
Yeah.
So I did my set. We finished up. Again, chatted with Joe and Daniela and had that conversation. But the love that New York City gave me, and then it was so special at the end, you know, because I was like, we have to call Jose Trevino, you know, because there are all these Yankee hats, right? Everybody's wearing a damn Yankee hat,
Yeah.
right? So I FaceTime Jose, and they start going, hip, hip, Jose. Oh, my God, Jose, I love you. I mean, like, losing their minds. So we had a fun moment there, and then, because, like, after a fun set, and I'm feeling it, I just hang out.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave. Like, I usually have, like, there's
When did
always,
they
like,
kick me out?
there's, like, 10 minutes of me just, like, man, like, I just want to hang out with you guys.
Living
Like,
in the moment.
I don't want it to be
Oh,
over, you know.
yeah.
And then this woman goes, real quick, I do want to give it up for them, and forgive me for forgetting their names, but the people that brought me the cannolis, so sweet, so kind. Thank you so very much. I also ran into the couple that were leaving on the Norwegian cruise.
Oh, that's
Yep.
so cool. Oh,
So
that's awesome.
he came over to me. He goes, man, we're the couple that won the Norwegian cruise. And then his wife just hugs me and she goes, thank you for this. She goes, we needed this. I go, oh, I'm so glad you guys were able to make it work. So sweet, so kind.
Norwegian flew them to New York City.
So Norwegian Cruise Line for veterans flew a veteran and his wife to New York City, gave them tickets
To your show.
to my show, then gave them a 7-day, all expenses paid cruise
That left out of New York.
that left out of New York to Canada. And so it was just awesome. Thank you, Norwegian. And then, of course, the couple that brought me the cannolis, and he brought me a couple hats, and him and his wife were just so sweet and so kind. And I just appreciate their thoughtfulness and their love for us. And we really, really appreciate it. But the point where was I getting?
Oh gosh, you went on the stage and it was crazy. You wanted to stay and hang out.
Oh,
You called
so
Jose.
then a woman goes, FaceTime Captain Evil. And I was like, oh shit. Like, I don't know what time it is. The woman's being a mom.
The woman's being a mom.
Like, they're like, FaceTime her. And I'm like, fuck that. Like, I'm going to call her first to make sure that you're not, I was like, oh, she's got free range titties out right now for sure. Right. For sure. So I call you, and then Delilah was back there, and I got so emotional, and I was just like, oh, and Daniela was like, I was crying, and Delilah was like, I love you, Daddy, and I'm like, I love you too, and so it was just a really great way to end a fucking physically abusive week. I mean, it was rough, but when I'm on stage, that hour that I'm sharing with those people. And I told the audience in Albany, I go, look, guys, I'm down to meet all of you, but I'm letting you know that I'm sick, and it is at your own risk because I am not well.
Yeah.
And we still had a great meet and greet. People came, so if they're sick, I gave them the out. But the other shows, I just didn't do the meet and greet because it was just too many.
Yeah.
Foxwoods was 1,800 first show sold out, and then the second one was like 1,000. There's just no way.
Yeah.
But it just walking on that stage in New York, feeling the city, and just to think, man, that's what's overwhelming. Like, I dreamt as a kid, man, like that song from The Greatest Showman.
A Million Dreams.
A Million Dreams. That was me.
Yeah.
I was that kid in my bed going, one of these days,
Yeah.
one of these days, one of these days, and one of these days. To be that kid from Gregory, Portland, Texas, walking the high school of maybe 800 kids,
Yeah.
to walking on stage in front of a sold out crowd in Times Square. It was a moment. And it was a moment of appreciation, a moment of like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, I really had a wow moment. And it was just like, holy shit. Like, this is we're here.
Yeah.
Like, this is happening. And it just, I don't understand. You don't see many artists that express themselves in a wow, holy shit moment. And I don't know why.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I never hear other comedians go, wow, this is happening to me. Wow, this was a dream of mine. I don't hear other artists expressing like,
Oh, I feel like Taylor Swift used to do it all the time as a young girl. And then she kind of got a little flack for it because people thought it was like fake or put on.
Oh,
or
disingenuous?
Like that it was disingenuous. And I don't know. I don't think it was.
I mean, you know, I'm always watching like, you know, interviews of people that I find very, very interesting. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure they feel it. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
You know, I just try to express it.
Yeah.
You know, I try to let people know, and I try to let people truly understand that I was this little boy in Gregory, Portland, Texas.
I think you are an over communicator. I think that's part of why you're great on stage. That is who you are, and you've made a habit of it.
Maybe. And I also love my home. You know, I love where I grew up, and I love, you know, all the things that have happened to me because they have made me the comedian.
You appreciate your journey?
Yeah. Well, when you're... That's the
I was going to say, I don't know that you always did when you were in it. God. I don't know that you always appreciated
That's
it.
the advice, man, is to let people know that enjoy the journey because, you know, the journey is the journey. And if you continue to work hard, you will get to where you want to get. And if you're miserable during your journey, then you missed.
That's a hard lesson. It's hard to take it on the chin.
It's hard
to take it on the chin. It's hard to get knocked down. It's hard to get back up.
It's hard when you're, you know, living in a car in fucking Rancho Cucamonga in a Walmart parking lot. Yeah. You know, but to be honest with you, that wasn't the stuff that bothered me. I was just like, oh, it's temporary anyway. Like, I'm just trying to figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
And I will tell people, follow your dream when you're young, you know?
When you have less obligations.
Yeah, you have less obligations. You have less responsibilities. You know, you got to feed yourself and house yourself. You don't have to, you know, worry about a family or anything. And you know, can we ever talk about what you're doing Saturday?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Super excited.
We can talk about it.
Those of you that are watching and listening from San Antonio, Texas, especially, Renae is the headliner speaker.
No, I'm not the headliner.
Yes, you are.
That night. I'm not. There's a dude.
Fuck that guy.
There's another dude who has like an HGTV online show or something, and I think he is billed as the headliner.
Fuck him.
But I'm prettier.
Yes, you are prettier and thick.
Well, I don't know. He's pretty thick too, from what I saw.
Wow. And I'm the mean one?
No, anyway, I got all that to say. I got asked to speak at the San Antonio Home and Garden Show.
I'm very proud of you. I'm very excited for you. So if you are at the San Antonio Home and Garden Show this weekend on a Saturday, please look for Renae.
I'll be there Saturday afternoon. I think 1 o'clock is my time slot.
Please go say hello. Please let her know that you love her and you care about her. The third show is on sale for the Tobin Center, which is Friday. Unfortunately, it had not been on our website, but we're adding it.
It is on the website. There was just a miscommunication. It's always been there.
It's always been there. So make sure you get your tickets ASAP to be a part of our beautiful filming. And then I do have to warn you, we are having issues if you're planning on coming to Vegas to see me at the MGM Grand. And I might be, you know, over speaking here, but because of the cyber attack, there has been issues. So
we're not even sure exactly what's happening.
We have no idea what happened. But if you go to the website, they're not showing any tickets available, but some front row seats for stupid amounts of money. Hang with us. We will keep you posted and let you know.
There are still, in fact, tickets for that show. They're just trying to figure it all out.
So those of you that don't know, I would like to help you become informed before you get mad at artists. So there's a big thing going on with tickets right now, and Ticketmaster, in their attempt to eliminate scalpers and keep that money for artists, they do this thing called dynamic pricing. So if an artist ticket starts selling really fast, they know that it's a hot ticket, that scalpers are going to buy them and then sell them to you for a premium. So what they do is Ticketmaster controls that by raising the rates and taking inventory before the scalpers. My point is, go ahead, you have something to
Well,
say?
I was going to say, think of it as, I feel like an easier way to explain it is to think of it as dynamic pricing like the airlines do. All of the airlines. If there's peak surge times to travel, your tickets are going to be more expensive. It's kind of, and depending on when you buy your ticket,
Right.
you're paying a certain price. They're kind of doing that with it.
I absolutely hate it. I absolutely hate it because, well, two things. It sucks because it's going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
And the scalpers are going to do it to me anyway, right? I mean, it was so freaking annoying to be in Irvine and to look out in the audience to have a completely sold out show and 4 or 5 booths
Your prime time booths
are completely
were empty.
taken by scalpers.
Yeah.
Right? So it bums me out. And it also bums me out because I want the everyday person to come and enjoy a show without breaking the bank.
Yeah.
You know, everybody from the lowest paid to the highest paid deserve to come to my show. And I want them at my show. I want the people like my mom and dad who saved their money and worked hard and were on a budget to be able to come to my show, right? So we're trying, just so you guys know, before things get crazy, because we truly believe that this next special will take us to crazy. We're at crazy. We're going to go to absurd. Is that a better way to put it? It's going to go to absurd. So I'm trying to come up with some ideas, and Rick here on the phone too, as he listens. Hopefully and Miss Lori, we're all trying to come up with a way to, what is that?
The link on your website goes straight to the MGM now.
Oh, so there is a link on my website for MGM. We need to put that on the socials and let people know. But we're trying to come up with a way to be able to sell a $25 ticket and guarantee that $25 ticket. So one of the ideas I have is you subscribe for $1 a month, and then $12,
Right.
and then 3 months before my shows go on sale, you get the link first, and you have access to the $25 ticket.
Yeah.
Something.
I mean, I think we're moving to the point where like there's going to have to be some sort of fan base, some sort of fan club, some sort of subscription group so that we can keep track of those people who really want that opportunity.
Right, and for $12 a month, when I come to your town,
Right.
you get access.
And we're just
to,
having
you
to
know.
figure out as venue sizes change and those numbers in that city, like how can we honor what we're offering? It's tricky.
It was crazy because I remember Louis C.K. going through this years ago when I was at the Comedy Store. Dude, he would do cash only. You got to buy him in person, max 4.
Yeah.
That was it. You want to come to my show? You pay cash. You get them at the door.
Yeah.
And it is max that you can get is 4. So it has been an issue for a lot of people. I mean, I think Garth Brooks said it the best.
Yeah. What did
Garth
he say?
Brooks. Well, Garth Brooks goes, why don't you just make scalping illegal? Why are there professional scalping sites? Because if I bought 4 Garth Brooks tickets
Uh-huh.
and I stood outside the Garth Brooks concert with 2 tickets, I would get arrested. Why is that illegal? But the StubHubs and all
The
these
resale
other
sites?
resale sites, why is it okay?
Yeah.
Right? And what's even sadder is when somebody buys a ticket from a fake website and they send them an email confirmation and they're out at my show with a paper that says that they have a ticket and they can't get in because they're going, well, I bought these tickets It said Steve Trevino,
Yeah.
right? It said the Irvine Improv. It's, and it just breaks my heart, right? So we also tell people, if it's on my website, that is the right link,
Yeah.
right? If you go to the venue itself, most likely that's the right link.
Yeah.
But it's even crazy. Like if you put Steve Trevino in your search engine or Steve Trevino tickets,
All fake stuff comes up. Yeah.
well, fake and scalpers.
Scalpers. Yeah. That's what's usually at
My
the
website's
top.
down here,
Yeah.
and all the fucking scalpers and fake websites are up here.
Yeah.
And it sucks because, and by the way, I don't know how they sleep at night. People that scam people, I don't know how they sleep at night. I honestly could not live with myself. People that steal from good, hardworking people, it is disgusting to me. It is one of the saddest things about our society. The fact that somebody can live with themselves, these scammers,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable to me. I could not live with myself if I scammed people for a living.
Yeah.
Like I just couldn't do it. I'd be a mental mess,
Yeah.
So, that 45 minutes blew by.
Yeah.
I did all the talking. I'm sorry, but you look beautiful in your burlap sack.
Thanks.
Sack.
Thanks.
I love you. I'm so excited to. And by the way, guys, follow Renae. Her Halloween stuff has been pretty amazing and outstanding.
You're like, it's only the first week of October and I'm already cut off. And like all your fans are sending me the coolest ideas on Instagram. Keep sending them. I love it. People are sending me like such great ideas and inspiration. And you like are like, no more, Renae. It's
We
enough.
started in
No more.
fucking August.
Okay, we didn't start in August. We started September,
So
but
maybe-
it's
maybe
quite
you won't-
possible. Because I was like, it's
Maybe
my, I
you
was like,
wouldn't
it's
have
my
got cut
birthday. I'm
off.
decorating for Halloween.
Maybe you wouldn't have got cut off if you would have
I
started
hadn't
like
started so
normal
early.
people.
Okay, fair enough. I will take ownership of I started with Halloween a little too early, but I just love it and I got excited.
So follow her at I am Renae with an A because she wanted to make it easy for you. I am I am Renae with an A. She's doing so good, and Lori and Rebecca have had so much fun helping Renae with these Halloween projects, and they're really putting up some really cool videos and really cool stuff.
I mean, the whole idea is I'm a busy mama and it's a lot, but I want to make the holidays special for our kiddos and here at home. And I'm all about finding like easy ways to do that. Yeah, I mean, listen, easy and simple, like crafts that anyone can pull off.
Woman,
I'm not a baker.
woman,
I'm not a cook.
The shit you bought
What do you mean?
for Halloween could be for real decorations. They're not kitschy decorations. We have like for real,
I feel
shit.
like your expectations are a little bit off, Steve Trevino.
for real shit. Like candle holders that are not like plastic. They're fucking, it's insane.
We sent those back.
They're in the trash. Don't lie to me. I saw them in the barn in the trash. Wasted monies.
Oh no, that one broke. It broke. when I
Wasted
pulled it out of
monies.
storage.
Wasted monies.
No, that one broke and I couldn't fix it.
That's what I call Hobby Lobby should just be called
glue it back
bullshit.
together.
Their whole commercial should be like, you like bullshit?
Okay, I should have let you wrap this episode
We
up.
got bullshit. If you like bullshit, we sell bullshit. Are you bored and need to buy some bullshit? Come on in. We got bullshit. Anyway, Aztec Chevrolet, we absolutely love you. Locations in Uvalde. Oh, shoot.
What?
I don't know if Poncho didn't bring me any. New shirts. Our new shirts for Raul are in. Anyway, Raul Western Wear. Aztec Chevrolet. Locations in Uvalde. Goliad if you like hard. Beeville. Please give us a shot. Please check it out. Please buy a vehicle from us. We just got a beautiful GMC Hummer. If you're looking for it, we will deliver it to you. It is absolutely freaking gorgeous.
I think you want it. You've been like trying to talk me into it. I think
know,
you want
dude.
it. I like that it's electric. That's cool.
Yes. Old Salt Coffee. Cannot do our mornings without it. Absolutely delicious. It's one of the best drip coffees that you can get for your home.
Yeah.
Please subscribe. Trevino 10. We also have Pick Cherries, who always takes care of us. Please listen to our podcast on Pick Cherries because you can pick cherries. And then who else do we got? Was that everybody?
I think that's everybody.
We love you guys so very much. And yes, Renae looks beautiful. And please, please, please send your comments towards her, not me.